Now we've already seen what essentially an app contains. To start off, it has a simple activity, which is a Java class that presents a UI in the form of a view that is presented to the user. Now how can we create a view? Now you can create a view by code that you write within the Java class, which is the activity, or the most favored way is to create a view by an XML file. Now when you create a view by an XML file, you can simply drag and drop components onto the view editor and you can create a view in no time. So the most preferred way that you will be using to create a view is by XML file. Now when you write a view by code, the view itself is within the Java code, which is the activity file. So the code of the view is itself the Java code, whereas the activity is also the Java code. So they both are compatible and you can directly use the UI elements, you know the references that you create for them, and the code itself is there within the activity itself. But what happens when you create a view in an XML file? All the views, they are in the XML format. They have some IDs by which you can refer to them. But how does the Java activity file, it interacts with the views that you create in the XML file? Now the solution is the R.java file. Now this R.java file is a file that is auto-generated by the Android Studio, and it holds all the elements that you create within the XML file in respective classes in the R.java file. We'll just see what is the structure of an R.java file and how it holds the layouts and the elements of the XML file. But briefly, whatever you declare within the view in the XML file finds a mention in corresponding class in the file R.java. So this is what connects the XML file elements with the Java code. So the Java code, it refers to the elements in the XML file by referring to the classes and the corresponding variables in the file R.java. So if you create a layout, the name of which is mylayout.xml, then you can refer to this within your Java code by r.layout.mylayout. So this is how you connect the XML with the Java code. So you will be referring to this file as r.layout.mylayout. If you have some image, say myimage.jpg, you'll be referring to this within the Java code as r.drawable.myimage. If you have some text view as a part of your layout and you give it an ID, say my text view, then this will be referred to as r.id.myTextView. So this is how things are linked from the XML file to the Java code through this file, which is called the R.java. So you don't need to edit this file. It automatically picks up any changes or any additions that you make to the resources or the layout files, and it will add those to the respective classes. Now let's see how do you find this class and how we can see how entries are made in this file. So now let's see how we can use this, how we use this r.layout or r.id in our activity class. Now if you need to set the layout for an activity, the method to call is setLayout, and what you need to pass is an object reference to the layout if you create in Java code. And if you create an XML layout, then you need to pass in r.layout the name of the layout. So this is where this r.layout comes into picture. And if you need to refer to some view that is part of this layout, then you need to search by using a method called findViewById, and then you need to cast that to the type that actually the view is. But what exactly do we pass to findViewById? Now this is the ID of the text view that we declare in the XML file, but referenced through the R file. So we'll say findViewById r.id.myTextView. So this is how you use these values from the R class in the Java code. For drawables, for layouts, for IDs, and many other things, you'll be needing to use the values through the R file.